Welcome to the Museum of Andover History at the Old Town Hall in Andover, Connecticut. One of the more recent additions that we have to the museum is this road marker. It was along the stage roads that went between Hartford and Norwich. These markers would bend every mile along your trip, and this one happens to be a double-sided stone or a marker. Not all of them were carved on both sides. These are one of the original stones. There are replacement stones out there along Route 6 today that you can see. One's down here at the local Shell station. It should not be at the Shell station because that part of the road did not exist in the stagecoach days. It should have been up around the area of the old firehouse on Center Street, but that's a whole different issue. Anyways, this one came from the location of Merritt Valley Road and Lake Road, Merritt Valley Road being part of the stage road at the time. And it marks that there's 20 miles left to get to the Norwich Townhouse. Again, these are marking, this is about halfway between Hartford and Norwich, and very near where this stone was located was also the halfway house. The halfway house was just an area, or a house that had a large barn, and the stage would stop and change horses there, and the people in the carriage could get out and get some refreshment and then get back on their way after the team of horses had been changed, and they would continue on up over Route 87, which again was part of the stage road to get between Hartford and Norwich. The other side of this stone, which I'll show you in a minute, has the inscription to how many miles it is to Hartford. As promised, this is the other side of the marker stone, or the mile marker stone for the Hartford to Norwich Turnpike Road. As you can see on this side, it's 19 miles to Hartford. So at the intersection of Lake Road and Merritt Valley Road, you would have been 20 miles from Norwich if that was your destination, or 19 miles from your Hartford destination. And again, the halfway house was just slightly west of where this stone was. Today, the Tin Barn down on Route 6 is what's left of that complex. Originally, there was a much larger barn there, and there was a very large house there, and that was the halfway house. As I mentioned earlier, there are a number of replacement stones. I don't know exactly when the state put these in. They've been here ever since I can remember. There's one here at the Shell station, which again is not where it should be. This stone would belong up on Center Street somewhere. This part of Route 6 did not exist during the stagecoach days, but this is where the state decided to put it. So again, it's 21 miles to the Norwich Townhouse. This is one of the original stage road markers that's actually still out in its original spot on the side of Route 87. This is very near the town line with Columbia. It's marking 19 miles to the Norwich Townhouse. The end is a little funny looking, but there was no real standardization in those days. Again, this is probably the only original stone left out here that is readable. There is one more that I'm aware of, but it's been completely weathered away.